So Max Holloway accidentally let some news slip in his post-fight press conference after his victory against Arnold Allen. Did you guys see this? So after the contest, he was asked who's potentially next for him, and he mentioned that Australia is supposed to be happening sometime in 2023. So when do you guys think this card is going to take place? So as we know, I think the UFC is booked up until about July with International Fight Week. So I'm expecting myself for an event to probably happen later on within the year in a market that the UFC hasn't really entered before in Brisbane, Australia. They've had events in Melbourne, they've had events in Sydney, and now in Perth. So I think that they'll be keen to tap into that market there. I think this is great news for Robert Whittaker because he would have been absolutely spewing that he missed out on the Perth card, and that he was, a chance to fight in front of your home crowd would have been absolutely fantastic for him. On this card, I'll expect Robert Whittaker to be participating because I think he'll be angling for that quite heavily since he missed out on the Perth card. And in regards to what's next for Max Holloway, let's just have a look at his post-fight press conference comments here about who he thinks is potentially next for him and his opponent for the Australian card.
Freaking country, Australia, coming up in, when is it? Australia's supposed to be happening sometime. Australia's supposed to be happening sometime. We don't know when. And if Korean Zombie wants it, he can get it. He can get it.
So there we have it. As you guys can see, Max Holloway is very keen to fight in Australia and he's hoping to face off against Korean Zombie. I think it'd be a one-sided fight if I'm being completely honest. I think this would be Korean Zombie's potentially his last fight. We know that he was looking at potentially retiring after Alexander Volkanovski pieced him up quite a bit. So the Perth card was absolutely fantastic in February, but what let that card down a bit is there was quite a few fights that actually didn't end up happening. Kai Kara-France had to pull out due to injury and Paulo Costa pulled out due to contract negotiations. So there was quite a few that fell through, and I expect UFC to try and get these fighters on the Australian card later in the year. Now, a few fighters from New Zealand would be a potential option as well because Australia and New Zealand are pretty close together. We're basically the same country, right? So I can't wait for this. I think the UFC sees how much of a big market this is for them because the gate at UFC Perth was around 5 million, I believe. And anyone who watched the event knows how crazy that crowd was for the main event and all night. Australians love their MMA and I cannot wait to see this. It's really great to see in this country how much the sport has evolved, and I think it's because we've got really great mixed martial artists here. Everywhere I'm looking around the corner in my hometown, there's a mixed martial arts center. There's a mixed martial arts center around the other corner. It's absolutely wild how much the sport has grown and how passionate the Australian fans are for this. What do you guys think is going to happen with this next Australian card? Do you think it's going to happen in 2023 like Max Holloway suggested? Or do you think it's probably going to be in the first quarter of 2024? And who do you guys think will be competing on this card? I don't know when the UFC is planning on making an announcement, but I think it'll probably be within the next month or two because it sounded like it was just within the talking stages. But anyway, very exciting times if you're an MMA fan in Australia. I can't wait to see them come back here yet again. And I know a lot of friends of mine, they missed out on going to the event in Perth and they were quite angry with me, some of the guys that I train with, that they were unfortunate to miss out on this one. I mean, people were trying to get tickets online and they were clicking, trying to buy tickets and the site would crash immediately. I signed up for 3 pre-sales myself and was lucky enough to get tickets, but I'm hoping the people that tried to get tickets last time can get in this time and go see the event because it was absolutely spectacular. What do you guys think about this one? When do you think they'll be returning? Thanks very much for tuning in, everyone. Feel free to hit the like button and subscribe if you like this sort of content. I'm trying to grow the channel to about 1,000 subscribers as quickly as I can, and I really appreciate all the support. Take care, everyone. I'll see you all later.